MMPR ruined Power Rangers. Okay, stop what you're doing. I can tell everyone is going into my comment section to say, how dare I say that? I don't respect the original show. It started off an amazing series that will span generations, and to be honest, I agree with all of those points. Except for the one saying I don't actually respect the original show. Now, hear me out before you send your comments to my comment section. Let me henshin up so I can defend myself as to why I think Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ruined the Power Rangers forever. Kezza Henshin. Now, I just want to start this off and say, no, I don't hate the show. I actually really love Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the other PR shows, and what it's done for us as fans, the stories of how it inspired kids to do their best, and what has come after. However, I do find myself occasionally taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture. And yes, I do watch the Super Sentai original shows that Power Rangers has come from, but that's not the reason why I have this take. Of course, it's easy just to say, oh, it's not the same, or it's written badly compared to the original source material, why have they done this and that? And if people want to hear my opinions on the matter, then I will share them. But this controversial take is more about the Power Rangers series itself and what it tries to replicate. Let's start at the beginning and look at the impact on Power Rangers nowadays. And yes, we will have to look into the original Super Sentai show just a bit, but I'll try not to compare them too much. Talking about trying not to compare them, the Super Sentai show is a show that has spanned over many years, starting off with Go Ranger in 1975. However, Power Rangers doesn't even come into the picture till Haim Saban takes the concept to the US for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which started in 1993, using the Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger season from 1992. The reason I bring this up is because I want us to look at how they both use the source material. I think it's important to point out that Sentai has a new season concept every year, choosing a different theme and storyline for each season, but in Power Rangers, there have been many a year where this is not the case, dividing seasons into 2 seasons worth of episodes and having the plot continue with the same characters and more. This in some way is a plus, but also a detriment for the show in many ways. It's probably cheaper to keep the same cast, props, Zords, locations for 2 seasons. However, it isn't fresh and new, and in my opinion, it stunts the progress of Power Rangers. And I could see this mainly coming from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or rather the success of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, to be precise. What I mean is, let me explain. Well, first things first, let's start with the things you recognize the most. The music for the openings. Go Go Power Rangers! It's been here since the beginning, and we still have it today. Even after Haim Saban had given the production to other teams and companies, the Go-Go is constant through most, if not all, of Power Ranger openings. Of course, Haim Saban actually created the soundtrack, so of course he would use it again and again and again. And this has many different versions of the same kind of process. If it is Go Power Rangers, Go Power Rangers, or Power Rangers Go, it's still there. It is a catchy tune and very recognizable, which makes it successful. But it makes Power Ranger openings quite, boring? There is always a Go Go Power Ranger line, and with the guitar it's nice, but when listening to the openings of other Super Sentai shows, sorry to compare already, but the theme of individual seasons is so pungent, it bleeds into the music too, not a similar song for every season. If a show is based on angels, or magic, or pirates, or dinosaurs, the theme is represented in everything, down to the suits, the weapons, villains, and the music. It's not copying off one season because of the success it gained. The music is specialized for each season, and that is so nice and different. Having different moods and instruments and lyrics and singers just adds so much to the experience of a Super Sentai season. But with the openings of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers onwards, there's always the Go Go Power Rangers because that's the most recognizable thing that they can have in the openings, unfortunately. My next point is the season structure. Mighty Morphin had 3 seasons of MMPR. This was because Haim at the time wasn't thinking of the other shows and was riding off the success of this new show he created. People were obsessed with this concept and loved the characters and storylines, having his own villains created and becoming the new big bad of the next season. However, he soon realized that he could get more money from using other Super Sentai seasons in terms of toys, which of course is the main source of money for Haim, Bandai, Toei, and of course Power Rangers. But as you know, Sentai is a one season and done kind of concept, having now 48 different seasons, storylines, and groups of characters that do mix and return as cameos in versus movies, etc. However, never really have we had a Sentai show with 2 seasons that continued the same story. However, again, in Power Rangers, this has happened many times. Power Ranger Samurai with Power Ranger Super Samurai, Power Ranger Megaforce with Power Ranger Super Megaforce, Power Ranger Dino Charge with Power Ranger Super Dino Charge, Power Ranger Ninja Steel with Power Ranger Super Ninja Steel, Power Rangers Beast Morphers, Season 1 and 2, and the continuous Power Rangers Dino Fury, Seasons 1, 2, and now with Cosmic Fury. But looking at the numbers really quickly, most seasons, except for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which had 145 episodes over the 3 seasons, had about 40 or 50 episodes each, from Zeo to Wild Force, dropping to 38 episodes for Ninja Steel to SPD, and then getting lower and lower in episode count per season, especially when you get to the duo seasons, with 20 to 22 episodes each, where if it was just one season, it would make up the main singular season originally. Why do this, Nickelodeon? What was the point? And why pause the show with a fake end season event to continue the story in the second season? It feels clunky. Maybe because of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the success of their multiple seasons. I don't know though. Just think about it. It takes a whole year cycle to get to the next season's worth of content. A whole year in concept to move on to the next half of the story. Like, that's bad writing. The idea of having more than one season per storyline has given way for these many extra seasons that we didn't really need, when we could have only just had one main season that was succinct and had more seasons based on the Sentai shows not seen yet in Power Rangers, or ever now. But here we are, with many extra seasons that we didn't really need or want. Need I say more? Yes, unfortunately, as maybe this didn't fully help my case. Now, moving on to the storyline. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a show set in a school with teenagers with attitude, who were chosen by Zordon, and that is how the show was rewritten from Kyoryo Sentai Zyuranger with clans and tribes and dinosaurs to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with school and exams, etc. This also introduced the idea of a juice bar as the main hangout spot, or something very similar. This made the show relevant to children and teens of America, and that led to its major success. One, that's great. But this now led to many other shows being school-themed or having a juice bar hangout spot also, trying to replicate the success of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it was so obvious it hurt. Power Rangers Dino Thunder in a school. Power Rangers Megaforce Gosai, assigned to protect the Earth by Zordon, recruits 5 teenagers with attitude at another school. Power Rangers Ninja Steel, yet another school. I guess you could also say that the dinosaur theme has been repeated a lot, but Sentai is also guilty of that. And even at that, the dinosaur theme is only on 4 shows now that I think about it. Zyuranger with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Abba Ranger with Dino Thunder, Kyuranger with Dino Charge, Yule Soldier with Dino Fury. God, they aren't very creative with the names, huh? And this is nothing compared to all the animal-based Sentai seasons, which are 9 seasons now. Also, don't even get me started on characters or character traits that return and return again. For example, Zordon and Alpha in season 1 to 3, and returning in the way of Gosei and Tenso. Bulk and Skull returning in shows like Samurai, and the concept of the 2 knuckleheads or the duo act in shows like Ninja Storm, and so many more. These are elements that are repeated over and over again. Like the expression, reduce, reuse, and recycle. It's constantly repeated and brought up again, sometimes for not even a good reason, but I guess it's alright comedic relief, I guess? Nah. Again, another example is Tommy Oliver, played by the late Jason David Frank. Now, I know talking about this is a touchy subject still, as Jason David Frank is no longer with us. However, this idea of repeated characters is so relevant to Frank's character, Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger who stole the hearts of so many viewers. It's quite clear that Tommy was a fan favourite since his introduction in season 1 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and I think Haim and Power Rangers knew that and kept him going, and going, and going. And you know the rest. Tommy as a character was referenced, mentioned, and cameoed in almost every show. I think there is actually a theory that you can work out what Tommy was doing in every season, with how each season connects to each other. How that made sense. He is everywhere on the timeline, and everywhere in the media for Power Rangers. For example, he was in, or referenced in, 124 Mighty Morphin Power Ranger episodes, 50 Zeo episodes, 19 Turbo episodes, 1 Wild Force episode, 37 Dino Thunder episodes, 1 SPD episode, 2 Super Mega Force episodes, 2 Hyper Force episodes, 1 Super Ninja Steel episode, movies, web series, specials, short films, stage shows, and so much more. And I'm not even saying he shouldn't have been there or referenced again and again, as even for me, he was one of my favourite characters in Power Rangers. However, what I'm saying is that after the success of Mighty Morphin, he was brought back time and time again. To be honest, that must have been a lot of pressure, literally holding the Power Ranger fandom on his shoulders, but the fans were always happy to see him. I do feel bad talking about Jason in the light of this video of me complaining about Power Rangers, so I'm going to move on. But just to clarify, I'm not saying because of him Power Rangers was ruined, but because of how popular Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was specifically, they probably thought they had to bring him back again and again and again. But continuing on for now. The main point I'm meaning is that yes, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a successful formula for a hit TV show. But because of that success, future Power Ranger shows who have tried to recreate the success made are suffering trying to be what it once was. Stuffing in a school theme was successful before, but doesn't mean it will be again. Most of the shows mentioned really didn't need that added in. A show with an angel theme, just stuff in a school. A show with a pirate theme, just stuff in a school. A show about ninjas, just stuff in a school. And I'm not even saying it's better or worse. However, I don't think Super Sentai has any issues in this matter because the themes are always changing. The casts are never repeated except for versus movies and more. And that's why it's good. It's all different, it's all new. Well, mostly. But I do hear you. It's easier to be the source than to translate it to a different culture. And then within that limitation, sometimes great shows do shine through, but it still is an issue when they try to replicate elements of the past. So is it better that they are fully departing from Toei and Sentai? We can't be so sure about that, but that is for another video. Back to the main point. Mighty Morphin influences are everywhere, even if you try to deny them. Adding a little bit of oil to the flame, of course, with the 30th anniversary just passed, it was brought back again with a reunion. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the shows after Cosmic Fury and the separation from Toei will just bring more school-themed shows, because that's all they know. It's very American. Yes, I think MMPR has ruined Power Rangers. However, for the future of Power Rangers that is going away from the original source material, I hope they come up with new concepts and steer clear of the Mighty Morphin source. In my opinion, it's for the better of Power Rangers. But heck, what do I know? I'm British, innit? Kezza Henshin, matinee. Thanks for listening to this video. I hope I haven't offended too many people. Hopefully you're still subscribing and you're still supporting the channel. I say this with full-on love for the Power Ranger fandom, so please don't be too offended with what I've said today. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. I'll try not to be too offended or worried about the comments that will come. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.